Now, here we are with the description of the chapter A Long Walk to Freedom in 6 different sections. And this is a detailed summary so that you can just go through the video and recall the chapter in a simpler and the easier way. As the chapter is little bit difficult for the students, and this video will be very helpful for you all to understand the lesson in an easier and a simpler way. Before starting the chapter, let us first know something about Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela's full name is Nelson Holy Shasha Mandela. He was born in the year 1918. He was the first black president of South Africa. From 1994 to 1999, he handled the post of President of South Africa. He also won the Nobel Prize in the year 1993 for his efforts to end apartheid, the policy of racial segregation. And during this fight against the racial injustice, he spent 27 years in prison. A Long Walk to Freedom is his autobiography, narrating his journey from childhood to becoming president and his lifelong struggle for equality, freedom, and democracy. So let us see the section 1. It's about the inauguration day, about the 10th May, the day of inauguration. Nelson Mandela narrates the historic day, 10th May 1994, when South Africa's first democratic country was inaugurated. And the inauguration took place in the Union Building Amphitheatre in Pretoria. The leaders from different countries and the dignitaries from different countries have attended this. Around more than 140 countries, leaders and dignitaries joined this ceremony, this inauguration ceremony. Nelson Mandela recalls feeling both proud and humble. Proud. Why proud? Because it's the birth of a free nation. Humble because of the responsibility placed upon him as he is the first black president. The days marked the end of apartheid, the end of all the cruel system of racial segregation, where whites enjoyed privilege and blacks were denied basic rights. For Mandela, it was not just a political change, but the realization of a long dream for which countless people had struggled and sacrificed. On 10th May in South Africa in 1994, it was an autumn day. Nelson Mandela was accompanied with his daughter Zenani, and on the podium Mr. de Klerk, who was first sworn in as second deputy president, then Thabo Mbeki, who was the first deputy president, and then came the turn of Nelson Mandela, who was sworn as the president of South Africa. Here we are with the second section, display of the South African Defence Force. After swearing in the ceremony, Mandela watched the military parade. How the soldiers of all races in the National Defence Force saluting the new government. This was historic because in the past the same army had been used to enforce apartheid. They were used to capture the black people, keep them in the prison, and Nelson Mandela himself was being thrown in the prison from these people as he was black, and the people oppress black people. But at present they are practicing all together. They are all in the same army and working together. This symbolizes reconciliation, the coming together of race to build a nation, a unified nation. Mandela felt that freedom had truly come when even the instrument of oppression were now protectors of democracy. Here we are with the third section, remembering the past and the struggle. Mandela recalls the bitter history of racial oppression where blacks were denied freedom, dignity, and self respect. Before his time, his ancestors lived in peace, but later generation faced injustice, discrimination, and many freedom fighters had died without seeing the dawn of the freedom, and Mandela acknowledged them as the heroes. Mandela feels indebted to these men and women who had paid the price for liberty of South African people. And for few moments he recall all of them, remember their struggle, the conditions that they faced, and how they all inspired Nelson Mandela and others in the journey. Next is Understanding Freedom, Section 4. As a child, Mandela thought freedom meant being able to play, run in the field, and live without restriction. But as he grew, he understood that the freedom was not just personal liberty, but also freedom of his people, freedom from fear, from poverty, from injustice. And when he realized that his people were not free, he felt his own freedom was incomplete. This drove him to join the struggle, to join this movement of freedom, and he fought against everything that the people of South Africa faced. Next section is Courage and Sacrifice. According to Nelson Mandela, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over the fear. The desire for freedom for his people and himself became the guiding star of his life. He gave up the comfort of a normal family life. He was ready to die for the cause. Mandela pays tribute to the countless heroes whose courage made the freedom of South Africa possible. Next section is twin obligation. Every human being has two obligations. Two obligations, one for his family and one for his community and country. And Mandela was in dilemma. Under apartheid, fulfilling both was impossible as a black man for him. They had to sacrifice personal life to fight for the country. His choice was to serve his people, even though it meant separation from his family. Now, which themes can be seen in the chapter? Here we can see the freedom and equality. A true freedom is for all, regardless of the race or color. Sacrifice and struggle can be seen. Liberty comes at a cost, and it is earned through the dedication and pain. Courage. Building a new nation requires bravery, courage, forgiveness, unity in diversity, different races and cultures working together for the shared goal. Then some of the literary devices that can be seen in the chapter are metaphor, the bright glittery day that symbolizes hope, new beginning, new starting of South African land, of South African people. The chapter has beautiful imagery can be seen. The description of military parade, union building, national flag create a vivid picture. Repetition can be seen. Repetition of what? Repetition of freedom, to emphasize its importance. Symbolism, the military salute, national anthem, and swearing in present unity and democracy. Contrast, the past of oppression versus the present of democracy. Hope this short explanation of section wise chapter was useful And if it was, then do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.